doesn't matter. All that matters to the lonely men who follow Angel Reese on social media is that she looks good. But like I told you guys the other day, an excellent performance from Angel Reese, it is rare. It's like seeing a hole-in-one on a par 5, or locating a flea on an elephant's ass without a microscope. It's possible it might happen once or twice, but it's not something that happens often. And in the case of Angel Reese, it damn sure doesn't happen in back-to-back games.
When you step back and take in the full picture, the situation surrounding Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky has quickly escalated from a basketball storyline to a cultural moment.
Angel Reese, man. Oh my God. The timeline has been on her case, bro. They say people are betting that she misses her first shot. That's how bad it's getting, bro. That's how bad it's getting. Bro, she's averaging 10 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and she's shooting 35% from the field. She's missing layups, bro. It's getting bad over there. She's missing a lot of layups. For you to be that tall, you missing layups. Camila Cardoso ain't doing nothing either.
She's not a power forward, bro. She's a center, but she's too small to play center in the WNBA. And then Cardoso, she's supposed to be at center, starting at center, but how she supposed to play her right position when she fighting with Angel Reese?
It all began with yet another difficult game for the Sky, culminating in a crushing loss that left fans and analysts questioning everything. Ariel Atkins, newly traded to the team, and speaking with the composure of a seasoned pro, tried to put the spotlight back on the game. She spoke in support of Reese, reminding the press that behind the headlines and public scrutiny, Reese is just a 23-year-old athlete still learning the ropes under intense pressure.
How old are you? 23. I'm sorry. Can I say something? This is a 23-year-old kid. And the amount of crap that she gets on a day-to-day, and she still shows up. So whatever questions y'all got like about our team, basketball-wise, we appreciate it. But all the other nonsense, like, it's irrelevant. Like, we here to play basketball and do what we do. We having a hard time right now at the end of the day. Just a 23-year-old kid who handles herself with grace. Her crown is heavy. So whatever else, like, y'all want to come at her for the way that she acts, she has to build the wall. She has to have the wall. Because if she doesn't, people will break her down. Not only just because of the way she looks, but it's because of the way she carries herself. She doesn't just walk around and act like, oh, I'm this. No, she knows who she is. And we ain't going to break her down for that. So whatever other questions y'all got, like, I'm hoping it's just about basketball. Maybe a box score question, but the kid's crown is heavy. Like, respect that. Yeah.
Atkins urged everyone to consider the toll this level of constant attention takes. The amount of criticism she gets every single day, and she still shows up, Atkins said, drawing a clear line between fair basketball analysis and the kind of noise that surrounds social media-driven narratives. But not everyone is ready to give Angel Reese the benefit of the doubt, especially not after her most recent showing against the New York Liberty. This game was supposed to be a turning point. With Caitlin Clark sidelined due to injury, it was Angel Reese's time to command the spotlight. Instead, the spotlight grew harsher. 4 points. That was her entire offensive output. Not a misprint, not a quiet, but strategic role-playing night. Just 4 points in a blowout loss where expectations were high and excuses were running thin. Even fans who have fiercely defended Reese began struggling to find silver linings. One of the league's most visible personalities, Stephen A. Smith, didn't hold back. He acknowledged the talent, the pressure, and the attention, but ultimately zeroed in on the facts. Her current stats, especially her efficiency near the rim, were not just subpar, they were alarming. Smith pointed out that Angel was shooting under 35% from close range, a percentage that's concerning for any forward at the professional level, let alone one being positioned as a face of the league. And then there was the reaction from fans, the ones who had been filling arenas just to catch a glimpse of what was billed as the WNBA's fiercest new rivalry, Reese versus Clark. With Clark out of action, ticket prices for upcoming Indiana Fever games plummeted, confirming what many feared. The league's excitement, media traction, and ticket sales were disproportionately anchored to one name, and it wasn't Angel's. Social media took notice. 4 points became the rallying cry of disappointed viewers. Game footage and press conference clips were scrutinized. Her pregame fashion, once celebrated as confident and empowering, now drew backlash from those who felt style was overshadowing substance. Is she more focused on outfits than offense? One user posted. The comment echoed a growing sentiment that something wasn't connecting between image and output. Yet through it all, Angel Reese remained poised. In her post-game interview, she brushed off online criticism, insisting that her real-world interactions were filled with support. "I've never had a negative experience in person," she said, adding that her trust in her teammates and coaches remained unshaken. That loyalty, that team-first mentality, might be her strongest asset right now. Still, the performance gap between her and Caitlin Clark is becoming harder to ignore. The two entered the league as counterparts, symbols of a new era. One brought showmanship and defense, the other generational shooting and court vision. While Clark has made highlight reels with deep threes and historic triple-doubles, Angel is battling to find consistency, often shining on the boards but struggling with finishing plays. The WNBA, a league in the midst of transformation, finds itself at a crossroads. Players are asking for more, better pay, better promotion, and more recognition. But owners and fans are looking at the product on the floor. A rivalry can drive ratings, but only if both sides are competitive. And right now, one side is clearly outpacing the other. Angel's recent struggles go beyond one game. Analysts have noted her difficulty adjusting to pro-level defense and her reluctance to stretch her game beyond her comfort zone. There's a hunger in her play, but also hesitation. A hesitancy that shows up in missed layups, turnovers, and stretches of silence during crucial minutes. But this isn't a story about failure, it's about pressure, about expectation, about a player who went from viral college sensation to national focal point overnight, about what it means to carry a crown that maybe came too early. The question now isn't whether Angel Reese can play at the highest level, the question is whether she can grow through the storm. Because make no mistake, this is a storm. And how she handles the next few weeks may define the next few years of her career. Whether she embraces the criticism as fuel or lets it become a weight she can't carry will be her choice. But for now, the cameras are rolling, the microphones are live, and the fans are watching, not just to see what she does next, but to see who she really is when the noise fades and the game begins. So, what happened in that game that changed everything? The Liberty came out swinging, opening with a 10-0 run that stunned the sky before they even got their bearings. Angel Reese, who entered the arena radiating confidence with a pre-game outfit that looked more suited for a magazine cover than a playoff push, simply couldn't keep up when it counted. The Liberty had their way with the sky on both ends of the court. Despite Angel's early efforts to control the glass, her presence on offense was barely noticeable. By the end of the first half, the game was still within reach. The Sky had trimmed the deficit, and there was a glimmer of hope that they might make a push. But that second half? A disaster. Missed rotations, cold shooting, and no offensive rhythm whatsoever. The Liberty pulled away effortlessly, and Reese was nowhere to be found in the biggest moments. The irony of it all is that this was supposed to be her statement game. With Clark out, the lights were brighter, the stage was hers. Instead, the only statement made was from disappointed fans and unimpressed commentators. What made the performance sting even more was the context. Angel Reese has been one of the loudest voices when it comes to branding herself as one of the league's future icons. She's embraced the media attention, leaned into the rivalry narratives, and often positioned herself as a force capable of changing the sport. But with that spotlight comes responsibility and scrutiny. The numbers tell a painful story. Blocked 20 times this season, just 21 made field goals. A near 1-to-1 ratio that doesn't scream dominance, it whispers vulnerability. For someone touted as a game changer, the output so far doesn't align with the expectations. And it's not just about stats, it's about presence, the ability to take over a game, to lead, to inspire confidence not just in fans, but in teammates. That intangible factor that separates stars from role players. Right now that's missing. The WNBA thrives on narratives, rivalries, underdog stories, redemption arcs, but it needs those stories to be backed by performance. And when a player billed as the next big thing delivers underwhelming showings in primetime, it undermines the league's momentum. Clark, even while sidelined, remained a larger presence in the game than Reese. Her absence was felt not just in strategy, but in atmosphere. The buzz, the electricity, it dipped. Meanwhile, Angel played nearly 30 minutes and left barely a footprint. That contrast was louder than any stat line. Stephen A. Smith captured that frustration. He wasn't tearing Reese down. He was holding her to her own standard. to the pedestal she climbed, to the persona she cultivated, and when he said she wasn't on the same level as Clark, it wasn't personal, it was factual. One is producing, one isn't. That's the cold truth Reese has to face. Not that she's a bust, not that she doesn't belong, but that belonging alone isn't enough. Not at this level, not when the league is trying to break through to mainstream audiences and every nationally televised game becomes a referendum on the future of women's basketball. Angel Reese has the charisma, the drive, the hunger. No one doubts her work ethic or her confidence. But now it's about production, because eventually, even the most passionate fanbase stops cheering if the results don't follow. Moving forward, she has an opportunity, a chance to recalibrate, to block out the noise, dig deep, and get better. The tools are there, the motor is there. What's needed now is refinement, composure, basketball growth. Because the next time the spotlight shines, it won't be enough to show up. She'll need to take over. Until then, the conversation will continue, the questions will keep coming, and the comparisons to Clark will only grow louder. The rivalry may have started in college, but in the pros, only one side has shown up. So what do you think? Was this just a bad night or a brutal wake-up call? Let us know in the comments.